Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is No Dust here, and we are going to work on our budget rogue ladder climb once again. Before we actually go back onto the ladder, though, as you can see here, we have a couple of quests, and this is Paladin, and I have decided to do 2 games of the Brawl this week. This is a repeat Brawl. It is Encounter at the Crossroads. I'll put a link in the show notes for you guys to do further reading on if you're interested on how it works and so on and so forth. I don't really intend to talk about repeat Brawls. I don't really want to do any. I don't really want to do any first impressions videos on a Brawl that's been seen before. So I'll put a link in the show notes on Encounter at the Crossroads. Basically, it is this Brawl. You pick a deck. You pick a class, and the deck is auto-generated for you. You have no control over what's in the deck. It generally has an okay curve, a mid-rangey curve. Feels as if it lacks. It's more minion heavy, less spell heavy, and you just play it out, and you get It's basically like try some cards and try some combinations that you've never tried before. And this is the perfect place for me to do my pally quests, since you don't need your collection doesn't matter. Really, I may have to humility that. Yes, I will be humiliated. Pardon me. Something stuck in my throat. I will be casting humility on that, especially since you gave it to me for free. We're looking pretty slow for the next couple of turns, but yeah, this is Brawl. I don't care if I win or lose. It's just like, yeah, it'll happen, and sometimes it'll come down to good RNG, some bad RNG. And as you probably have noticed, a lot of the Christmassy stuff, or Hearthstone calls it Winter Veil stuff, has come to Hearthstone. I wonder if any of it is interactive. It doesn't appear to be. If I hit this, it'll clear the entire board. Is it worth clearing the entire board? Hit this, clear the entire board, make a dude, or I could clear this, make a dude, but then he could clear the board. Pardon me, he could clear the board with the sheep. Yeah, let's clear the sheep. Make a dude. I come out on top. I could have gone face and forced the double trade into my. Actually, no. If I'd gone face, the sheep would have killed my mini bot anyway. So wouldn't have made too much of a difference. And now we're in a bit of trouble. We're not too bad until next turn. If my opponent doesn't deal with my dudes, we have very strong quartermaster. For 5 mana, I gain. Okay, not so much. I think it's still worth doing to get the 2-for-1 on the dude. 5 mana for a 4/7 worth of value. It's great. Quartermaster on 1 guy is worth. Quartermaster on 2 is great. Quartermaster on Muster is just insane. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Now what do I do here? Oh, this is a really slow hand. Really, really slow hand. I think I play this. Do I swing at the Raptor? I don't think so. We may have lost this game. Anyway, it's hard to tell. It's hard to say because I don't know what else is in my deck. I may pull out something. I don't know. That's the thing about this mode. You usually won't have like the best synergies. You won't have the worst synergies. You'll just have a number of cards. And unfortunately, we picked up 2 9-drops. Definitely not something I would put in a regular deck, like a deck I've made myself. I wouldn't put 2 9-drops. Now that's interesting. You've buffed my Berserker. Ow, that's painful. Let's see what comes out. Not too bad. Not the worst. Not the worst outcome. I won't play Enter. I will just keep making dudes. Another thing. Pardon me. I'm having issues with having some issues with hay fever, I think. Ooh, not good. Yeah, another thing with brawls like this, where you can't build your own deck, you in a brawl that has a pre-made deck, slower classes tend to be better. And why do I say that? Like, what sort of classes? Okay, we can Colosseum here. I'm definitely Colosseuming here. It's like a 4-4. It's like a 3-for-1. And what the hell is this? Discover a death rattle card. Let's kill it. That was great, actually. Got a ton of value there, and the Raptor pickup wasn't great. So that's actually the Museum Curator is actually a direct nerf to the Paladin Shredder. So let me note that down as well. New 2-drops are nerfs to Paladin Shredder. E.g., wow, you got 2 Museum Curator, 2 for a 1/2. Yeah. So there are a couple of new 2-drops that are nerfs to Paladin Shredder. Museum Curator being one of them. Another one is Lance Carrier. They're horrible when they come out of the Shredder, but otherwise pretty good cards. Let's hit this one, because otherwise it trades into my Kraken for free. At this rate, he has 7 damage on the board. All of this has to go into my Kraken unless there's some sort of removal, and hard removal or spell-based removal is a little rarer in this mode, like I said before. I mean, I've had a Humility, and I've had an Enter the Colosseum. Okay, no, that doesn't really work because it's not a dragon. And I do have an Ice Howl for that. So we've reached that point in the game where... Oh, whenever an enemy... I think I have to clear this, however. I could go... I think I have to Ice Howl. Clear. And we're sitting pretty strong. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand, and we have a very strong board. I can finish with Mechginia Thermoplug. What are you doing? Oh, brew. Okay, sure. If you don't deal with the Ice Howl, I can kill that thing though, so that's fine. Yes. Are you going to make a big Van Cleef? I'm sensing a big Van Cleef. Or you're going to save the big Van Cleef? There it is. Okay, it's fine. It's not a problem. Do I Mechginia? Oh yeah, I think I Mechginia. I think I have to clear this thing. I can't afford to take that much damage, but the Mechginia does so much work. I like... It's not... like, you know, wasting the 9 attack on the brew, it might feel very wasteful, but this represents 4 damage. Yeah, I could just be dead, but... What the hell are you doing? Okay, it's clear my opponent hasn't really ever played Rogue much. And that is fine. We have... let's go for the Joust. If we can heal, we are in a very strong position. Excellent. So yeah, slower classes tend to be pretty strong in these sorts of brawls, because you're not guaranteed as a hunter or as a mage to pick up like all tempo cards and run your opponent over. That's just quite unrealistic. Let's go again. I can actually go Warrior. No, let's go Palia. I can do more of the quest. Yeah, so slower decks tend to be better because as you get more value out of your hero power, the game is basically guaranteed to go fairly long in this mode, and you're quite likely to get a lot of value out of your hero power. You saw how many times I duded that game, and I was able to make a comeback because I was able to last until the late game. Oh, nice Tyrion. Another thing to note about this mode, it may have changed since the last time, is that this encounter at the Crossroads, it's possible to get multiple copies of Legendaries. Yeah, it was actually, because that previous game, my opponent had double Van Cleef. So this mode sort of takes the restrictions of regular constructed mode away. It's sort of more like Arena, in that in Arena I don't know if you can draft 2 copies of the same legendary. You probably could. That's a question that I need to figure out. And I'll put the link. I'll put the answer in the show notes. Can you draft multiple copies of a legendary in Arena, e.g. Deathwing? Okay, you probably wouldn't want Deathwing in Arena. If I were to draft multiple copies of a legendary in Arena, what would I want? Probably Hogger? I like Hogger. Oh, actually, what am I talking about? Dr. Balanced, of course. Yeah, get 2 copies of Dr. Balanced. Yeah, 2 copies may be a little slow, but it's still pretty good. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, play this. Because we have nothing else to play. I could have played the dude, but then the dude would have gotten ping. And it's not too bad to get the mage to ping, like I said. It's not too bad to tax the mage's ping. Well, this board doesn't have any Winter Veil stuff. Oh, that's good. I can do Lebanon, and I have a lot of ping targets. This board is vulnerable to Arcane Explosion, but not much else. Yeah, no Christmas themed here. I thought there'd be... I guess it's just the... Ooh, hey! Like I said, it was vulnerable to Arcane Explosion, and my line of play there was sort of Arcane Explosion is horrible and no one runs it. It's not horrible. It's not a bad card, actually. That's incorrect to say. Arcane Explosion is not horrible. It's not a bad card. I'm going to save this in hand because I have no 5-drop play. It's not horrible. And no one actually runs it. Very few, actually. It's misleading to say no one. Very few players run it. And but you can't really count on that in Encounter at the Crossroads, can you? You know, my opponent's deck could be filled with anything. Okay. We have a very neat Consecration here. Okay. Oh, okay. Not so much anymore. I could just play a blank Solemn Vigil. Mukla? Ooh, Mukla is dangerous on this board. Mukla is very dangerous on this board. But I think I have to do it anyway. Yeah, I think I have to do it anyway. Yeah, I think I have to do it. Otherwise I fall too far behind. And honestly, at the moment, he's got 3 damage. He has to double banana just to deal with the Mukla. So it's not too bad. Or a Fireball will deal very nicely with the Mukla. Yeah. Mukla's not too bad actually against classes that have very few minions. Say for example, Freeze Mage. I would probably, if I was just facing exclusively Freeze Mages, I would probably run a Mukla. Run a Mukla. Run a... enough wordplay. Yeah. It's not too bad. Okay, so I'll figure it out. Let me just look at my notes. I'm going to figure out which legendary, whether you can get multiple copies of legendaries in Arena, since we can definitely say for sure. And another thing I can say for sure is, because you can get multiple. Like last game, my opponent had double ban Cleave. You can get more than 2 copies of any card in the Encounter Brawl. So once in the Encounter Brawl, I drafted, I think, something ridiculous like 4 Vanishes, and 4 Vanishes is just sad. Like I'm sad face when I draw 4 Vanishes. Yep, it's fine. It should cheapen this by a significant amount. Yep, I could have duded there. Yeah, I probably should have duded there. But a discounted Solemn Vigil. If I didn't do there, if I didn't Solemn Vigil there, I would have had to. I would have to pay full price. So it's like a tempo play. I don't get to dude, but paying 2 to draw 2 cards is pretty strong. Makes my end game a little bit stronger. This isn't a normal style of card draw. This is, you know, it depends on how much trading goes on, so on and so forth. And I don't think my opponent was going to be able to develop another, like, you know, semi big board like that again. And we have a fair amount of really good late game. Guardian of Kings, excellent, because it's like You get fireballed in the face, while Guardian of Kings will restore your health back to pre-fireball. And just as a card, it counters fireball, counters burn. It's very slow, but it's sort of like Reno before Reno existed. Reno before Reno existed, before Anti-Healbot existed. Okay. Banana. Good thing I have abusive. Just the one or the two? Come on, friend. Okay, sure. Oh my god, like I was saying before, I drafted 4 vanishes. This time I've got 3 eye for an eyes. And honestly, I don't think it's that bad against Mage. Because I just keep playing these secrets, right? And no one will expect you to have 3 copies of an eye for an eye in your deck. Nobody. X3, eye for an eye. So the next time the mage uses a spell, it may actually be at my face, and that actually be maybe to my advantage. And that's actually something you can think about in normal constructed play as well. That, you know, if you're going to run eye for an eye, run 2 copies. Because they'll be thinking so much about this, that, and the other. You know, and really, eye for an eye is, I don't know. Could you combo it with does it synergize with Get Down? Because Get Down will block the first shot, and then the second shot will trigger eye for an eye. Your opponent is probably a smart opponent will try to play around eye for an eye, and use like a weaker first shot. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Okay, Jeeves is actually great here. Jeeves I'll save for the next turn because my opponent has a lot of hands. Sorry, not a lot of hands. A lot of cards in their hand. Whereas I do not. I'm running out of cards. Sorry, I just had to mute for some hay fever shenanigans.
Reporting for duty.
Do I run Cog? I could go Cog Jeeves actually. Yeah, Cog Jeeves, because I don't need the healing here, and I think I should save the healing. And the reason the reason I say I retroactively cogged after making a dude is it's actually quite useful to get the cog buff onto a dude, because this thing represents a lot of damage, and putting the buff here is just asking for a sheep, whereas putting it on the dude, my mage opponent will have to think about whether they sheep, and you know it's a bit of a waste to sheep a dude, and you need to deal with the dude with Divine Shield and taunt. Whereas this is like, one sheep will take care of all that nonsense. So it's actually good to spread out the love, especially since this thing represents a huge threat as it is. But on the other hand, having the Divine Shield on the Corehound means that Snowchugger cannot freeze it again, and yeah, it's going to be quite hard to get through. Without sheep, it's going to be quite hard to get through. So you're going to hit it and then Snowchugger it, and you're going to. Oh, I wonder what's happening. Okay, oh, that's good. That's some good synergies. Ooh. Would have been good actually to blast mage first and see where the pings go, and then you can finish. You could have finished off my Jeeves with a second ping. Okay, so the banana to finish. That's fine. Ah, that could have. Yeah, that should have come out first. Okay, I've got a swing. I think I'll leave this thing up, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, War Golem, Trial, Dude, and Jeeves will draw us another card. Yeah, pretty good. I've considered putting Jeeves in a rogue deck, and you know, playing like a hyper aggressive. Like Jeeves allows you to play Zeus style with a number of classes that you previously couldn't Zeus style with. Like if you get the Jeeves on the board and you can protect the Jeeves, it'll just keep drawing you cards, and your opponent is unlikely to have as fast a deck as you. Ooh, interesting. Oh, perfect counter. I didn't know that. Let me note that down. Sacred Trial / Laser Trap. equals counters Oni. Like, it doesn't hard counter Oni, and it also counters Boom. Because, so Sacred Trial also counters Boom, because if Boom gets played into Sacred Trial, say my opponent has 1 minion on board and plays Boom, the Boom will get killed, as opposed to anything else. Like, the Boom bots will stay, but the Dr. Boom itself will get, will suffer the consequences. And that's really good, like, for Pally to be able to... But, I mean, like, Pally already has Humility, already has Aldor. You don't really need to... Like, does Pally need more answers? To like, Pally already has also Equality, Consecrate, Enter the Colosseum, which is a little rare, I guess. I wonder if you're going to expect another one. Because sometimes that 1 damage makes a difference, actually. Forces them to clear. Is there a Flame Strike on the way? I think there is a Flame Strike on the way. We may still be done though, because this thing will survive Flame Strike. War Golem, my big friendly buddy. Okay, no Flame Strike, I guess. We're done. Unless this is an ice block. Okay, we're done. Nice. It took a little longer than I expected to finish the quests, but I think the resources are good for our rogue. So yeah, that's the extent of what I'm gonna do for this. But okay, as a reward for me and for you guys, I'm gonna open the packs now. Yeah. So maybe we won't actually do any climbing this game. I'll try and fit in 1 game, but let's open the packs now. Anything I would add? No, nothing I would add. So we're getting to that point where the packs aren't really showing us too much. Ancient of War is something I will disenchant. Pyro is something I will hold on to. Yeah, Ancient of War is getting disenchanted. I'll hold on to it. I mean, like I said previously, I like to hold on to resources and tap. Like, you tap into the resources when you need them. It's sort of like, you know, having something in the basement. Have you guys seen Rocky Balboa? I'll put a link in the show notes to Rocky Balboa. Good movie. Watch it if you can. Got something left in the basement. It's always useful to have something left in the basement. So, like, when you're feeling down, you're getting stomped by net decks. You go, okay, what can I do? What sort of resources can I put in? Let's see at the moment I can put in another Eviscerate. But I won't, because I'll save it. I'll save it until we're down on our luck, then we tap into some things and give ourselves a new lease on life. Okay, so Wild Pyro is okay, but given the number of Divine Shields in this deck, it's probably not synergetic. Yeah, that's okay. And then, and what else is new? So we've got the Ancient. It'll give us 100 dust if we need it. Humility, Temple is nice. Mortal Strike, yeah. So this thing will give us 100 dust on an emergency, but I think at some point we won't even need the dust anymore, because we'll have just cards and stuff. All right, let's do 1 game at least. Okay, let's hop in. Okay, this is a fine. Yep. Not much. I'm gonna Argent Horse Rider, but being able to coin out a charge is really useful, I think. Especially since I don't have SI7s in this deck. If I had an SI7, I would have maybe dug for it. But having this sort of being able to push out this aggressively is useful against Priest. Priests don't get their major board clear until turn 5, and it's much before turn 5. Okay, interesting. I can still deal with this with the Horse Rider. I think I will. Yeah, Dragon Priest. I'm going to need to find my Assassinate and my Sap. Those are going to be key cards in this matchup, and hopefully I'll find a 3-drop. That's going to be really important too. Yeah, I don't think this deck has the best. Really, you whiffed your turn 3. That's not great news. Although I whiffed my turn 3 too, so you know that's not great news either. But the difference is that I have something on the board, so it's less punishing if I whiff my turn 3, whereas you have nothing on the board, you have to whiff your turn 3. It's not great. You're whiffing your turn 4 as well. Ooh, okay. That doesn't mean I've won the game. It doesn't mean anything until I don't win until I win, basically. And do I save my second chest? Yeah, I have oil. Every turn that I can stall, or every turn that my opponent doesn't play anything, I get closer to be able to combo the oil. And once I can combo the oil, we are looking pretty. Okay. Okay, Valiant Eviscerate is great. Yeah, Valiant Eviscerate is great. Yep. Eviscerate is a very neat answer to things like, well, things like Drake. So, very heavy hand. You've probably got a Ysera, you've probably got a Chromagus, you've probably got maybe some Sludge Belchers. I wonder what is in your hand. Okay, you got a Blackwing, that's fine, I can deal with that. At least I hope I can deal with that. Shredder... It's not actually that easy for me to deal with. I think I play the Sunwalker. Yeah, Sunwalker is a nice, clean answer. Also, Sunwalker is quite anti-priest because it is not. It's the 4 attack is very hard for priests to deal with. Plus, the Divine Shield is also quite hard for priests to deal with. I don't know what the plan would be. Maybe Shadow Madness on one of these guys to clear the Divine Shield and then running the Blackwing into the Sunwalker. Yeah, and if I stall until next turn, I get the free clear. Either A, I get the free clear on the Corruptor, or B, I get to develop my board even further. Plus, I can fan oil, and that's going to be very dangerous for my opponent. There may actually be a light bomb in here. Okay, no light bomb. Okay, interesting. This will. Okay. I think I still fan oil. Ooh. Is it worth fan oil? Do I need to? No, I don't need to fan oil. No, I don't, because this doesn't challenge the Sunwalker either. You know what? This is weak to light bomb. Yeah, I play this instead. Do I spend a fan? No, I don't. The fan is my combo starter.
Here we go.
I think this is fine because the Blackwing tech doesn't challenge the Sunwalker. There's no way it's going to take the Sunwalker down. Light Bomb will not finish my board. It can attack, heal, Light Bomb. That's really slow. Yeah, my opponent's in a pretty tough position, honestly.
Is someone injured?
Okay. Are you going to attack Nova? Yeah, it feels like an attack Nova. Yep, that's fine, that's fine. And then you're going to heal up the tech again. That's fine also. I think I'll leave this thing up. I don't really care if you draw any cards. Let's see what we find. That's actually quite good. I don't have to leave it up actually. I can, and the backstab becomes my activator for the oil. This is quite useful. It's okay. It's a good target for Argus actually. It's a good target if I ever need to, set up Argus. And so Argus can also be a good activator, since the oil can land on the Argus and the Argus itself is protected. So not too bad. Yeah, not fussed about that. Interesting. I think actually that Buccaneer weapon. I don't oil here. I get a 3 damage flurry. You already spent a pain on my you've already spent a pain on my Gnomish Inventor. So this is a little safer and is less vulnerable to. I'm feeling like this is like Trump's list, and I have some issues. Like I wouldn't personally run Trump's list, and I'll put a link in the show notes to Trump's quote unquote free to play Dragon Priest run, quote unquote free to play. I've aired my grievances with that sort of list before. Quote unquote, because, well, I think I'll do this. Oil up. Oh, that's a pretty good oil. That's a pretty goddamn good oil. And you know what? I don't care if you steal something with your Sylvanas. Your health is so low that unless you instigate a full board clear, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. As long as 2 of my attacks, I mean, you have to heal yourself, so I sort of want 4 of my attack. Everything can survive except this. You could hit this and then get this as a taunt. That's pretty good too. I mean, you know. So the game is not fully over, but the Sylvanas is so slow. I don't know. I don't know what my opponent could do. I mean, you basically have to run into the Buccaneer to try and steal something, and if you don't steal the taunt, I think the game is basically over, but it's hard to say. Oh, okay. I see that. That's fine, I can deal with that. That's why I have a backstab in hand. Although Assassinate is... No. Assassinate is better saved for... Assassinate is better saved for nonsense like Ysera. That thing is not worth an Assassinate. It's a 4-drop card. Don't spend Assassinate on a 4-drop card. This is actually coming down to a fairly close game. If I pick up a Sprint, we may be able to end the game. If I pick up any sort of other card draw, we may be able to end the game. So let's see how we go. There's the death. Okay, it's painful, but you know, that's okay. It's also okay. The heal bot is actually yeah, the heal bot's fine. The heal bot's fine here. Not something I want to see at this stage, but it's fine. The ring also. Do I assassinate this thing? No, there are other things coming. There are other things on the way. And this is not a health-based race. This is not a health... Oh, that was a misplay. I play too fast. So I need to remember for Rogue. And, you know, swing your dagger before healing up. Now, it's not like the 2 damage should make a difference, but if it does make a difference, and I was thinking previously about another game versus Dragon Priest where I died to a spell-empowered Holy Nova. Sometimes it does make a difference. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference at this point, but you never know. You never know. Yeah, so I could have saved myself 2 points of damage. And now this is fine. This is the second Assassinate on this. I think it's okay because this is his primary defense. And it also allows me to do a number of things. That's fine. It even makes my Assassinate even more worthwhile on that. Okay, yep. Assassinate. Swing. Hit. And I won't oil. I won't poison up. Deadly poison up. I don't need to. This is likely to go into here and heal up to 3 health. Then I can deadly poison clear it. If he's going to play greedy. If he doesn't play greedy, I can just normal swing to clear it. Okay, there's the Chromagus. That would have been the ideal assassinate target, but you know, you don't always get what you want. And this is fine. This is actually I don't know if there's a second Shadow Word Pain in here. Now the Chromagus is going to be problematic. I mean, both the Black Wind Corruptors came out, and both the Twilight Guardians have come out, so I'm not going to see any more of those. I'm not going to see any more of those, so I wonder. Okay, there's the Ysera. That's fine. It's a little slow. If I can sprint into something, we can just end the game. And I have 1 in 8 chance of drawing into sprint. Come on. You know, if I just lose to... you know what? I have to go for it. How much damage is on the board? That's 12. That's 12. If there's any damage, I'm dead. Like, if there's anything, I'm dead. Yeah, we were 1 off. Oh well, you know, these things happen. If I lose, it's fine. You know, it probably means that I needed a little more. Actually, you know what? That 2 damage came to bite me in the bum. The 2 damage often makes a difference. Yep. I died to any sort of burn, and the 2 damage came to bite me. Yep, now I'm dead. I think at this point the 2 damage, does it still make a difference? Yeah, no, I wouldn't have made a difference. Yeah, it's fine. Stop BMing. You got like an expensive Dragon Priest card. Go. Yeah. I know you like to stroke your E-ping, but you know, Save it. Save it. Okay. We're done. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're done for today. Apologies for actually this is going to be. I'll put a warning on this. I'll put a warning on this clip. Mostly Brawl, mostly doing Brawl quests and pack openings. Yeah, I'll put a warning on this clip so that people who have come here expecting to see rogue ladder climbing. Well, you only see one game, but I mean, I did enjoy talking about pally cards and pally strats, and talking a little bit about rogue stuff and opening some packs. It was all good. Yeah, okay, so let's wrap it up there. I think that's pretty good for today. So I want to thank you guys in advance for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I do this for the love, so any gestures of appreciation mean a lot. And oh, actually, that's right. I had a couple of questions come in through the YouTube channel on the YouTube comments. I think, I think it was one of the questions was, what would I add to this list if I were able to add some legendaries or epics? And I've been thinking about it. If it was an epic card I could have put in this deck, it would either be a big game hunter or a sabotage. Sabotage to replace my assassinate. Big game hunter just for having a big game hunter. And a legendary I would put in this deck would definitely be Boom. Second legendary would be Thanos. But having said that, I will be doing some videos on just like non-budget rogue climb, as in I get access to all the cards and you get to see some of my playstyle, and maybe I'll even do a series on that too, like see how far I can climb without all this nonsense like restrictions. And this is not nonsense restrictions. I mean, these are realistic restrictions that real players run into every day. So but I will show you the end game. And it's not the full end game. I don't have the full list. There are some cards that I'm also missing on my primary account, but we'll get there. Anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And this is Friday here, so we're leading into a weekend. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. This is No Dust signing off.